Hello traders, this is Dave with the Compass Options Live Trading Room, and this is a weekly Periscope video for 10/8/2022. We're going to just go over some stuff briefly this evening. First, I'll do my disclaimer. All signals and trading opportunities we provide here at the Compass system are, whether we do it orally, written, or electronically, are for educational and demonstration purposes only. Trading is very risky, so you should never trade with more money than you can afford to lose. And neither myself or Right Line Trading are licensed financial advisors, so won't be giving any financial advice. All right, let's move ahead here. Let's just take a quick, I just updated this a little bit because of the trades we've made recently since the last 5 weeks or so. And I've added some new ones here. From CCL on 9/30, which was a nice 50% gain. On 10/3, we did Apple for 12%. We took an Amazon trade intraday, took a 7% loss, small loss on Amazon. Oxy had 12% win. ENPH was a nice 28% win on the 5th, and that was a call debit spread. Also with Neogen with a 16% gain. That was a one we held overnight for a couple of days. And then Roku on Friday had to get out of it. We took a 1% gain. It lost all its relative strength. So we get out and we'll look at that again tomorrow. So we are obviously looking for, what we're looking for is the highest probability trade setups and entry criteria. And we go over this every day, but basically we're looking for breakout of dynamic compression zones. We look for Heikenhachi reversal candles. We look for a breakout in the same direction as the stock's current trend. So we're not doing any counter trend trading. If the stock is green for the day and bullish, we're only going to trade it long. If it's red for the day and bearish, we're only going to trade it short. And we'd like to take the breakout in the same direction as the current market trend, if there is a trend. Sometimes the market chops, so we would just lean on the actual stock itself. Then the critical thing here is we need to have the modified Laguerre for the current time frame matching our direction. So we want the modified Laguerre, the oscillator basically that we've got in the Compass system. We want the modified current time frame Laguerre to be green or blue if we're going bullish, and red or yellow if we're going bearish. And we also want the modified Laguerre for the multi-time frame to match the trade direction. So same as the current time frame. We want those green or blue for bullish, red or yellow for bearish. We'd also like to see a Bollinger Band expanding, which is generally going to happen if you're getting a breakout of dynamic compression. And then we select stocks that have relative strength or relative weakness to the market. When I say that, we're not talking about RSI. We're talking about stocks that are trading stronger than the SPY or weaker than the SPY, and they tend to give us a better return than stocks that are just trading with the SPY. And if it's going to be a swing trade or maybe a swing trade, we want the daily chart to match the trade direction as well. So we want, if we're going long on an intraday trade, we want the daily chart to also be set up for a long. And if we have a pop out of the box signal, that even adds more conviction to the trade. And we want to have patience. We have to wait for these compression breaks and wait for these stocks, these trades to set up for us. So we're not jumping into every trade. Again, we're trying to trade the best and skip the rest. And one other thing we can add to this now is have the Dominator system up and running, which is for market internals. And the market internals will confirm what the Compass system is telling us. The Compass system is telling us that we've got institutional trading in there. And if the market internals, which we calculated on 5 different indexes, the Dow, the NASDAQ, the S&P 500, the Russell 2000, and the New York Stock Exchange. So there's 5 indexes that are being calculated, and what it's looking for is stocks that are moving up on up volume and up on upticks versus stocks that are moving down on down volume versus down on down ticks. And if you get a huge divergence or discrepancy in the number of stocks that are going up versus the ones that are going down, for example, you got 400 or 500 on the upside with going up on upticks and going up on up volume versus 100 on the down ticks, then you've got a big disparity there, which shows a lot of institutional buying going on. And that tells us that we can take the trade. We'll take the best trades we can. We can trade the SPY, or we can trade any stocks. And also, when we have the market internals lining up like that, we can actually take larger size on our trades, and we can follow the market internals to let us know when to get out. And I'll be showing that in the room this week. I showed it last week. It's worked really, really well. You have to wait for these setups, but when the market internals show you that you've got a great move to the upside or the downside, they're very, very impressive. Again, this is trading HA reversals. Same thing basically as what we just talked about in the high probability trade setups. And we just go over these each week. I just want to show if we've got some new people what we're looking for. This is like a break to the downside right here. That's a pop out of the box signal showing a break in compression. We have stocks compressing, a big red candle, and all red on all of our compass indicators are all red. The trend dots are red and moving down, and the stock just keeps moving down, moving down, moving down. Kind of flattens out here, and then we get out right here. You could get out anywhere in here once the candle start to get small like that. This is Oxy. This is a trade we took a while back. We did a day trade on it, but I wanted to show you the daily chart and see how the compass system here is telling us that this should be a long. This is a dynamic compression zone right here, the shaded area, and you see the stock popping out of this dynamic compression zone, moving out of there with the trend dots moving up and everything green across the board on the compass system tell us that the institutions are in there buying the stock. And here's the intraday trade on the stock that we took off of that big daily candle. Again, you see the compression here. It had a dynamic compression zone here, which is not showing up now because dynamic compression zones come and go during the day. But that was a dynamic compression zone. This was the buy area. Again, we have all blue and green, so we're bullish. The trend dots are moving up, getting ready to cross the 15 EMA, and up it goes. And a beautiful trade on Oxy. The Tesla, this is a nice trade. I wanted to show this as an example, and I do this each week, because these are Heikin-Achi candles right here. These are not standard candlesticks. Heikin-Achi candles are very popular for people who are looking to confirm trends. And Heikin-Achi candles, when you get a stock with a wick and a tail like that, red candle, and then you get a flat bottom like that, and a flat bottom, you see how each one of these candlesticks have flat bottoms on them. That's a Heikin-Achi reversal. And as long as the candles continue with flat bottoms, you've got an uptrend, and it just keeps going until you see here the flat bottom disappears. And these are Heikin-Achi candles, and the big green dots in the middle here are what's called acceleration dots, which telling you that the current time frame Laguerre, or the trend oscillator that we use, modified one, we're just looking at momentum, nothing else. That's telling you that the momentum is the maximum that can be calculated by the Laguerre, and you've got a lot of institutions in here buying this, and that shows you what happens with a move like that. And that was a big move in Tesla. Again, this is a 5-minute chart, so that's a big run up from about 881 to about 892, about 11 points in about 45 minutes. This is SPY. This is a little different view. Again, this is a SPY with a Heikin-Achi reversal right here. See the candlestick with the wick and the tail, followed by a flat top. Flat top candlesticks with Heikin-Achi are bearish. So we've got a bearish Heikin-Achi reversal here. This is a little different look on Thinkorswim. What I've got here is I've got the current Laguerre time frame right here for the 5-minute time frame, and this is the Bollinger Bandwidth, which shows you as the stock is moving down, the bandwidth is moving up, which tells you that you're coming out of a compression strongly. And you would then get in here, and you could stay in it. Again, you keep getting flat top, flat top, flat top, flat top. Nice trend to the downside, followed by dojis here, which would tell you to get out of the trade. And you notice when the dojis start, the bandwidth starts to compress again. So you're going back into another compression, but you did have a yellow and red all the way across here on your momentum. And this is just another one of showing the same thing on the SPY. Coming down here on the 5-minute, it broke below the VWAP. This pink line is the VWAP with a flat top candlesticks all the way down. The candlesticks get smaller and smaller and smaller. So you get in here, and you would start to get out when the candlesticks get small like this, and you're losing momentum, and you see the momentum went to blue from red, which tells you that you've lost the selling pressure from the institutions. And Meta was another good one that we took. This is a daily chart on Meta. I just wanted to show the dynamic compression zone right here. Really beautiful dynamic compression zone with a nice break out of there. This is one of the trades we took. It came down and it broke below the, this is a pivot point right here, a white pivot point, broke below that and continued on down. So this was also a good trade, which we took. And again, you see when this breaks out of dynamic compression, everything is either yellow or red. That's what you're looking for to identify a bearish trade. This is a SPY off a TC2000 that I use, and I just wanted to show the daily chart on the SPY. See, we had a big run up here in August. We hit the 200-day moving average, and then we come down pretty precipitously. We tried to bounce up above the 50 and above the 100. Looks like we were trying to make a rally here, and then we plummeted down. And this low that we set last week was the low of the year. So every time we've had a rally in the SPY this year, we've produced a lower high, and it's come down and produced a lower low. So we're in a downtrend on the SPY. That's is not showing any signs of breaking. That was a pretty ugly candle on Friday. We had a little bit of a move up last week. Looked like we were getting a little momentum, and then it just plummeted back down again. So this bear market's not over yet. This is some information on credit spreads. There's a video out on there now that you can see. Everybody should have access to all the videos that I've produced. And if you haven't, you can call Rory. He'll give you the link for them. But I've got quite a few webinars out there on videos out there on credit spreads, using time spreads over earnings, basic options trading. We've got one on the compass system of finding the highest probability of the trade setups, and then another one on the compass indicators, showing you what they mean and how you use them. And I also have this is out on Reddit. I have something on using debit spreads as profitable day trades. I also had a video on that. So all these videos are out there. There's a post on Heikinashi. There's a link to all of the videos out there that all the members had access to. What I'm looking at for tomorrow is I'm looking at, I got 4 bullish stocks in here. The market was pretty weak. There was quite a few oil stocks that are actually pretty strong. I just picked Schlumberger and Fang for longs. As also, this is a bulk shipper, SPLK. And Children's Place had a pretty good move too, which I'll show you here in just a minute. And bearish, I still like Triple M bearish, still like Lucid bearish. I still like Roku. After we took it Friday and just took a 1% gain because it lost relative weakness, and I didn't really want to hold it over the weekend, but I'm looking to get back in it again on Monday. Nbax, we played this a couple of times. This is still very weak. SMG is this weak stock, and so is Garmin. And I'll show you those. I'm going to go to live charts here in just a second, so I'll show you those. And again, when you're trying to use these stocks, any stocks, but the ones that we're looking at here, or any stocks that you're trading during the day, if you're looking for long entries to break, you want them to break over, and for Monday, for example, you want them to break over Friday's high with a high probability trade setup. You don't want to be trading these stocks long until they break over the previous day's high, because the previous day high will be some resistance. So you want it to break through there before you take it. And it's the same thing for shorts. You want the short entries to break below the previous day's low with a high probability trade setup before you would take those. And again, try to take trades that are trading with the market trend if there is one. All right, so I'm going to drop this down, and I'm going to bring up the charts here. This is the ES tonight right now. You can see what the ES is doing. It's actually down a little bit. But one thing I wanted to point out, I've got a couple of scans that I'm testing. I'm going to have them running tomorrow. One of them is, this is break below the dynamic compression zone. So this would show stocks that are breaking out of the dynamic compression zone to the downside. And I have a break above for bullish stocks that are breaking above the dynamic compression zone for scan. So I've got both of these scans set up and running. I'm going to I'm gonna, before we start giving them to everybody, I want to see if I need to tweak them or anything. But they work pretty good. This was on, we got one on 5 minutes that will be running during the day, and then you can change it to daily for looking at the daily chart. But they work pretty well. If you see this is HL, you see this is a break below. You see the dynamic compression zone, stock breaking below it. XL, dynamic compression zone, stock breaking below it. So that's what it's going to show you. So if you're looking for stocks that are breaking below the dynamic compression zone for shorts or above the dynamic compression zone for longs, this scan is going to give it to you. And a lot of times, if you're getting a good result on the RLT scan, which is showing you break out of the boxes and buy signals, and you've got it showing up on the break above dynamic compression zone, those will be really, really good. But I've been trying to get a scan to work to find these stocks when they break out of compression, because that's when we want to step into those trades. So we'll have those. So let's look at the daily chart on the stocks that we were looking at for tomorrow. SBLK. Let's take a look at SBLK. Here's the daily chart at SBLK. Again, we've got it's just moving over to blue here. This is a yellow. This is likely to go with blue tomorrow, but you see how it's breaking out here pretty nicely in SBLK. So I like SBLK long. There isn't an awful lot of longs to choose from, to tell you the truth. But Children's Place is another one that looks pretty good. If you Children's Place here, you see it came out of the dynamic compression zone a few days ago, put in a doji, now it's moving up. And we've got all buy signals except for the confirmation, which is the one that the line that changes last. So I'm okay with this one because we're getting all buys across the board here. And again, we're not going to touch this unless it gets above Friday's high. Remember that. So and let's see, we also got SLB, Schlumberger. Oops. Schlumberger, this Schlumberger. Again, buy signal here, green and blue across the board, breaking out with a little doji on Friday. So a break over Friday's high would be likely. Again, this is all going to be dependent on oil prices. Schlumberger trades with oil, as does the next one, which is FANG. FANG also trades with the oil. And so it depends on what it does tomorrow. It was very, very strong on Friday. Most of the day it fell back a little bit, but his FANG right here, and what we want to see is this to break above Friday's high, and you'd like to see this multi-time frame go to blue in order to take that trade. But these are just some suggestions that I'm just watching. Shorts, there's a lot of shorts. Triple M is a really nice short. I mean, these great breakdown in Triple M. Lucid also is a nice short. You can see that it's breaking down, and again, it's getting below all the previous lows over here, and you get sell across the board on Lucid. Roku is a good short. I mean, we got out of it because it started popping up and giving us relative strength instead of relative weakness. But if it stays below this level right here, or breaks below Friday's low, that would be a nice entry for Roku. Nvax. Take a look at Nvax over here. Nvax is very, very short. It's kind of been drifting down. It doesn't move a lot. We made some money on Nvax, but it doesn't move a huge. You can make 20, 30 cents on the options, but that's good because it doesn't go against you too much. But if it gets below Friday's low, this is another. It doesn't really have any support below it right now. That would have to go down another $12 or something to get to support. It's really, really getting beat up pretty badly. SMG is another one. Scott's Miracle-Gro. Again, a nice breakdown here. A nice candlestick to the downside, red across the board. So perfect if it breaks down on and remember, Friday was a weekday, so there's a lot of good-looking short stocks out there. I could have probably listed 50 of them, but I'm really only looking at a few. Garmin is another nice one, and we'll look at them all in the morning because you have to start fresh. But I just like to have a starting point. Here's Garmin. Garmin's a little suspicious because you've got this dynamic compression node that broke out of, but you notice your daily here is still showing blue. So that tells me that probably I would want this to go to yellow before I actually get in, which if it moves down tomorrow, it likely will go back to yellow. It's been kind of choppy, but your multi-time frame is in quant. So these are all red. So those are the ones that I'm looking at, and they're for tomorrow morning, for Monday morning, and we'll see how they go. Again, I've got these two scans I'm going to be running this week. We'll see how they what the results look like. You have to really test these to see if they're going to be effective or not. But so far, they look pretty good from what I've seen. If I switch back to 5-minute here, they look pretty good on a 5-minute chart for breaking down his Hasbro. See it breaking down here on the 5-minute chart right here. But again, this is the breakdown. Obviously, you need to trade the stock in the direction of what that stock is doing for the day. So you're only going to trade short for stocks that are red for the day and moving down, and below the VWAP, etc. But we're looking for these breakouts of dynamic compression zone, and there was no way for us to find them. We had to see them by going through the other scans and then just looking at the chart. This will alert us when these things are breaking above or below the dynamic compression zone, which is one of the keys we want to enter stocks at a good level. And again, we'll be talking about the dominator system tomorrow, the market internals, and how we use that, and I'll show you that, how we're using it in conjunction with the compass system to give us even higher probabilities, and how to increase our size and stay in the trade longer by following the compass signals. And I'll be showing that multiple times tomorrow. And the dominator system is, it can be bought. I have it on my system because I think it enhances the room. It adds value to the room that I've got it. So if you don't have it, you're going to get the information from me during the day on what the dominator is doing for all the indexes and which stocks to take based on that. But if you want to, you can buy it. You can call Rory and buy it. But you do have to keep in mind that it runs on Ninja only, on Ninja 8. So you have to have a copy of Ninja 8. Now you don't have to, if you're not going to trade on Ninja, you don't have to pay for Ninja. You can get Ninja free, but you'd have to pay for the dominator system, and then you would have to pay about $69 a month for the data feed that comes from Kinetic. Kinetic does not feed this data to anybody else except hedge funds, but they also send it to Ninja. So for Rightline to be able to crunch the information on the market internals, you have to have Ninja to do that, and you also have to have a Kinetic data feed that is sending that information to Ninja all day long, and they only supply this information from 9:30 to 4. They only do it during market hours. But anyway, we'll talk about that tomorrow. But I do want you to know that I'm running it. I'm going to use it every day to help us find better trades. To find we can trade the SPY, or we trade the Q, and also to stay in trades longer. It's gonna make the trading a lot more effective, and I think a lot more profitable for us, because we can be a lot more we can be more focused on when we get out and when we get in, when the market internals are telling us to get in. We can get in, and we can take the indexes, or we can take the stocks. If you're looking at a stock to go long and the market internals switch to a buy signal, telling you that all the indexes are swamped with buying across the board, then if you like a stock long and it's got good relative strength and it meets the rest of our criteria, that's where you jump in and stay with it, and you can take a larger size in it based on that. So anyway, that's what we're going to be doing, and I look forward to seeing everybody on Monday morning. Hopefully this will be helpful to you, and we'll see everybody tomorrow morning, and let's trade well. Have a great weekend.